Superman and Lois. I finished talking about Smallville, so now each month you will be getting a season review of Superman and Lois, and then I hope to move on to Buffy the Vampire Slayer for my next series of reviews. I really like this show. I watched a few. I really feel bad I didn't watch this show when it was on the air because this feels like a very underrated show, right? And the reason I didn't is because I don't watch CW shows as they air because I don't have basic cable at all. I'm a cord cutter just like most normal people. So I never know when these shows are on, and then when they do pop up on streaming, it's just like you have to go into Max and be looking for it, and I don't really tend to look for it. So I watched the first couple episodes when they first popped up on there, really enjoyed them, meant to watch more, just never got around to it. And then they announced this Blu-ray box set at a very affordable price. Got this for like $80, which for 4 seasons, that's like $20 a season. Can't really beat that. And it's a little larger of a box than I would like, but I digress. I am really glad I finally watched all of this show because this is a 15 episode season. And lately, the way I've been watching TV shows is I watch one episode a night till I'm finished. That's how I've been watching them. It becomes a routine, and I feel like you enjoy the show more when you're not binging through it. Just let it sit with me. I did that with Game of Thrones when I finally watched that show for the first time. But this show, I just binged through it really quick. I started last week and I finished it this week, 15 episodes, because it's just really a good show. Basically, if you don't know what the concept of this show is, this is an alternate universe in the CW verse. Not that it really matters. You don't really see a lot of that in here. But basically, this show is about Superman and Lois. They're a little bit older in age, not super older, but enough. They're probably about 30, 40. And they have kids now. And so they're moving back to Smallville, away from the city, with their two boys who are teenagers. And this show is kind of going for a Friday Night Lights type of feel with how the show operates, and tonally. And there's a lot of exploration with these boys and their relationship, them exploring powers and stuff. And it's just a really sweet show where this show does what a lot of comic books have been really afraid to do. It's really been a talking point lately with Spider-Man comics that there is so much hey, you cannot age up Peter Parker in the comics. And the better comics and stories that have been doing that are Spider-Verse. You see Peter Parker as a dad with kids in those movies. Yeah, I mean the Spectacular Spider-Men storyline, which is just fantastic stuff. And Peter Parker is a mentor to Miles Morales, older in age. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Spider-Man. But what I'm saying is, Superman is kind of run into some similar problems with that. But lately, they've been really evolving the character. And this is a great example of that. It's also just a really wholesome show. It's got really, a family dynamic. This is, a show that I can imagine airing back in the day, people were really into, because it really is centered around family and just that really old school tone to it, and it's just really sweet. And there's bigger threats, but they never overstep. It always comes back to that family. In terms of things I just really liked in this season in particular, I really enjoyed Steel and everything they did with that character and stuff like that. But really, when I think about the moments I didn't really like, the moments that really stuck with me are the family dynamics, the moments where the two boys are just hanging out or dealing with their relationship drama. It really doesn't, the Superman stuff is there, and I like that stuff, but not to the degree that I am just really enjoying the father-son dynamics and things like that, and just and the boys' dynamics. Tyler I'm forgetting his last name, but he is so good as Superman in this show. Where he's a guy that immediately when you hear him cast as Superman, you're like, I don't know, but when you see him in the show, he is just so good. He can really captures both energies, and you really feel his pain of like trying to be a father and deal with that responsibility and deal with work responsibilities, but then also be a dad to his kids on top of it all. And it's just really a beautiful struggle. Lois is great in the show. It just is a really awesome show, and I can't wait to talk about more of this show. I cannot wait to talk about season 2 in July, so stay tuned for that.